Someone has called my attention to another fishing license for a different year for Stephen Paddock. Now we're going to review this, even though it annoys people, because emphasis added. On this license, instead of saying brown or blue or black or something, someone wrote in bad cursive, because most people have very poor handwriting, weight 225 pounds, eye color some damn thing, hair color BR or something, maybe it was blue, I don't know, height, feet is clearly written out as 6 as far as I can tell, and the height in inches could be a 4 or a 1. Upon his death, he was found to be 6 foot 1 inch tall. Because someone needs to make hay out of something, they've decided to reinterpret that as the number 4, even though most people draw with loops and straight lines instead of extremely fine-grained wiggles. But okay. Now, what is absolutely desperately needed by the conspiracy theorists? They need another document contradicting the narrative. The narrative is he was 6 foot 1 upon death. So let's find something making him taller or shorter by any amount possible, by any means necessary. I want to point out that the only thing on this thing that was censored out was the California license number, which I think is stupid, but had all this other information in it. And we're going to come back to all of this, but in the upper right-hand corner it says expires December 31st. And it's very clearly done because someone went to the trouble of doing a decent image job. Now, I don't know if this was also done with this extra one, but I do know this is what I was given instead of a very clear image that still has ambiguous handwriting problems, just like every single thing you've ever filled out. But I do want to point out that the day period hour was 7 a.m. down there, ending date months 6, day 4, 2010, and beginning date is listed as 7 a.m. as the hour, month 6, day 1. So this is a 3-day fishing license, okay? All right, and again, in the upper right-hand corner, it said it expired in December 31st because it's a form letter. All right, here we go. This is the one that I was sent to. Now, there isn't any reason to have it be negative. It doesn't make it easier to read. It does make it harder to image search it. So what I have to do is, if I want to actually do this, is I have to take the black space in the middle, make it a white space, invert the image, and go image look for it. Couldn't find a copy of it anywhere. The image search hasn't found it. I don't know where this image came from, and I've asked the person who gave me the note about this to tell me where they found it at. But most of this, if not all of this, is fairly consistent. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to do a simple thing. Inverted it and removed the black space so it's just not as distracting. So this is what we end up with, 2009, and it has very blurry lettering right where it would say expires December 31st. In fact, a lot of the information, in fact, all of the information in the image is extremely blurry, except what we are supposed to pay attention to. Stephen Paddock being 6 foot 4. Gee, that's almost like someone's wet dream if they need a conspiracy theory page on YouTube to continue growing. I'm not covering the rest of it, but I am going to cover something else. The number on it is 9096643. And let's go backwards. See? Okay. Well, let's go back. The ones for the next year, the series number is 0418340, and that is the typeface used for it. Okay. You might want to compare them. Not telling you what to think, but you might want to look at the number 3 there. Okay? All right. Now this is me trying to clean it up a little more and making it black and white and trying to get more data out. Now if it was in bold, we get Alaska, requirement, we get understand this information, we get a few extra bits of data here. What we don't get is any clear information on the image. Now I want to point out again, this is somebody's wet dream if they want to keep their web page going about them doing conspiracy theories about Stephen Paddock, because this would indicate Stephen Paddock himself said his eye color is blue and he has brown hair and he's 6'4". Very clearly written number 4. And he's 208 pounds or 206 pounds. Okay. So here we are with the original file. He was 225 pounds a year later. He had bad handwriting. Look at the way he writes the A for California, for CA. Let me go back. You notice it's a double line on the left side, bang, up, down, and then a line across, or it's a down, up, cross, and then across. How is that A formed? Is it cursive? Is it connected letters? The TX is a line going laying down, and then across forming part of the X, and then another one going backwards from the right to the left. Right? Okay. He had a separate X for Texas a year later. All right? Mesquite written out with connected letters. Separate letters a year later. The 4 was written in a way that it would be a line and a zit, and it was a curved 4 on Keswick Lane. Curved edge on the 4, not distinctive right angles. But the number 4 for his height, almost like he's trying to emphasize he's really 6'4", no matter what the autopsy says, is a line and a line. It's a boxed 4. Let's see if we can find any other numbers that have box edges for the numbers. Well, we do for his birth date. He wrote out very distinctly for the number 4 a year later, birth date 4952, right? The month is 4. The day is 9, and it has a bent back on the 9. A very distinctive 4, but for some reason on his height, he didn't use a distinctive 4. Okay. He also used separate letters. In fact, in his own name, Stephen C. Paddock, the only thing he screwed up is the letter C, it looks like. But he did not use, when he wrote out his name to be clearly understood, connected letters very much. He didn't like connecting letters. The number 5 is very distinctly swept on his year, from right to left to the top, a straight down, and then an upward turned curve. Same thing with his 3s, because that's how he did that. But the number 4 for his height doesn't have a boxed 4, okay. But on this one, it's a boxed 4 for his, because he decided in 2009 he was going to say he was 6'4". And does anybody see anything interesting? I mean, he's writing out his year of birth in 4 digits a year before, but the year later he did it as a 2-digit year. This is an accountant who wrote out his name as Stephen in 2010, but Steve in 2009. Look at the consistency in the D's, okay? All right. He wrote 2 different D's for his own last name in 2010 that says he's 6'1". It's not 6'4". A connected T to X for writing from an accountant on 2009, which somehow confirms magically something we won't know until 2017, that they lied about how tall he is. Like, that really makes a difference. But no, they didn't. He was 6'1". Why would he write down 6'4"? Box lettered. Very clearly. But a year later, he somehow can't write the number 4. Was he just flat out drunk? Okay, what about the other parts of this? Like, he wrote out the word blue for eye color. His eyes aren't blue, because pictures of him show his eyes are not actually blue. And BRN, brune, for brown. BR, he didn't care. He wrote a little tiny letters in cursive for the rest of the word blue or other. I don't know. All right? All right. So anyway, back to the original. This is the original image that everybody was fed, 2010, and ends in 340. And it said he was 6'1", and that matched the coroner's report, so everybody had to make him 6'4", based on a very extreme inconsistency with an accountant not writing numbers consistently. Somehow makes sense. Okay, do we see any other numbers on the screen here that aren't boxed number 4s? Every single one of these is a squared off box number 4. It's like the number 7. I'm surprised he didn't put a line through it like Brits do all the time, because they get confused all the time. Every 4 on this screen written out boxed. Okay? But the only one that isn't is his height, which means it was a 1 and not a 4. It was a mistake. Or this one here that magically shows up with an almost perfect carbon copy of one of the 4s. Come on. I'm not really sure if I want to call this a fake, but I'm really leaning towards it because it doesn't have any of the characteristics this does, as far as simple thing like, let's make it readable and let's acknowledge that this is something people wanted to see so they could prove the autopsy report was faked. Okay, I'm getting fed up with this. If anybody knows where this particular license came from, and you know where the image source is, post it below. If nobody has a source for it that's authenticatable, we are done and this is a falsehood. I don't know if it is, but please give me the information. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.